Dear friends, hello everyone. Today we will prepare a delicate spring strawberry and coconut pastry together. It is an amazingly delicious combination of fresh strawberries and coconut in an elegant presentation. They are light, fresh, and absolutely delicious. Let us get cooking. We will start the preparation with the strawberry filling. For it, we will need strawberry puree. Ready-made frozen puree will work, and you can also make it from fresh strawberries. Strawberries cut into small cubes will also be needed, and both fresh and frozen berries are suitable. We will also need sugar mixed with cornstarch, bloomed gelatin, that is granulated gelatin pre-soaked in cold water, and freshly squeezed lime juice. Transfer the strawberry puree into a saucepan, and while whisking, add the sugar mixed with cornstarch, stirring until no lumps remain, and place the saucepan on the stove. On the stove, while constantly whisking, bring the puree to a boil, and after it boils, cook it for 1.5 to 2 minutes. The starch will activate, and you will see that the mixture thickens. Remove from the heat and immediately add the bloomed gelatin, stirring well until it is completely dissolved. Next, add the diced strawberries and the lime juice and fold well with a spatula, and pour the mixture into the molds. I will, as always, write all the mold dimensions and the detailed recipe in the description below the video. Let the mixture cool slightly and place it in the freezer until it is completely frozen. Now we will prepare the base for the whipped strawberry ganache that we will use to decorate our pastries. Let us start by melting the chocolate. The most convenient way is to do this right away in a narrow glass, in which it will later be easy to work with an immersion blender. The chocolate can be melted in short bursts in the microwave or in a water bath. We heat the strawberry puree together with the gelatin in a saucepan until it is completely dissolved, which is to about 60 degrees. There is no need to bring it to a boil. Next, we pour the hot puree onto the melted chocolate, add the rose water if you are using it, and stir with a spatula. Because the volume is small, we do not use the blender yet. Next, we add the cream, and now blend the mixture with an immersion blender until it is smooth. The strawberry puree gives a rather unappetizing color, so I will add food coloring, but that is entirely optional. And it is better to add it in tiny amounts with a toothpick so that you can control the shade. Do not add it straight from the tube as I did. We pour the ganache into a shallow container in a thin layer, cover it with plastic wrap pressed against the surface, and place it in the refrigerator to stabilize for 6 to 8 hours. Now we will prepare a very tasty coconut dessert that will form the base of our pastries. We will need egg whites, sugar, shredded coconut, powdered sugar, and almond flour. We add the powdered sugar and shredded coconut to the almond flour and mix well with a whisk. The powdered sugar must be sifted beforehand. We begin beating the egg whites until they form a light foam, and then add the sugar and continue beating until they reach the consistency of a soft, pliable meringue. The mass will increase noticeably in volume, become much lighter in color, turn airy and fluffy. Whisk marks will be visible on the surface. The meringue will hold its shape, yet it will remain soft. We incorporate the dry ingredients into the meringue and gently fold them in with a spatula, trying to preserve the volume so the meringue does not collapse. Next, we pour the batter into the prepared pan, spread it out evenly, and bake it at 170 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. The surface of the sponge will brown slightly. We carefully remove the finished sponge from the pan, flip it onto a rack to separate the foil from the bottom, and then chill the sponge briefly in the freezer before cutting. For assembling the pastries, I will use tart rings and simply insert an acetate strip inside. Silicone cylinder molds or metal rings will also work for the assembly. When the sponge has chilled slightly, I lay the rings on top of it, kind of marking it out. The sponge is calculated for exactly 6 pastries. Then I punch out the sponge rounds. They turn out like this. There is a bit left for sampling. Be sure to taste the sponge, it is very tasty. We wrap an acetate strip around each sponge and place a ring on top. We check that everything is even and neat, and the bases look like this. Let us prepare the fresh strawberries. It is important to choose strawberries that are not large, that are firm, uniform in size, not watery, and not overripe. The strawberries need to be washed, dried, have their stems removed, and be cut in half. We insert the strawberry halves cut side toward the acetate strip in a circle inside the ring and gently press them. Each ring took exactly 7 strawberry halves, and before pouring in the mousse, we will chill the bases slightly in the freezer, literally 30 minutes, no more. Because of the fresh strawberries, we will not freeze the pastries completely. And all that is left is to prepare a very tasty coconut mousse. For it, we will need coconut puree, white chocolate, bloomed gelatin, and cold heavy cream with a fat content of 33%. And as always, we begin the preparation of any mousse by preparing the softly whipped cream. This is cream that has increased in volume, has begun to thicken, yet remains soft. It leaves a mark on the surface from the whisk, but the mark disappears quickly. The softly whipped cream should not hold stiff peaks. To achieve this consistency, it is important to use very well chilled cream with a fat content of 33%. I also always chill the mixing bowl additionally. And this is how the softly whipped cream should turn out. We place it in the refrigerator at once until it is needed. We melt the chocolate in the cup in which we will be working with the blender. We place the coconut puree on the heat and add the bloomed gelatin to it. We heat until the gelatin has completely dissolved, but we do not bring the mixture to a boil. And then we pour the mixture over the melted chocolate and, using an immersion blender, blend until combined. And for the mousse, all that is left is to combine this mixture with the softly whipped cream. But before that, it is important to cool the mixture to 30 degrees. For this, you can use a cold bath or place the mixture in the refrigerator, but it is important to stir it periodically for even cooling. And while the mixture is cooling, let us remove the frozen strawberry filling from the mold so that we do not become distracted by this during assembly, and we will place it back in the freezer again. And once the mixture has cooled to the desired temperature, we take the cream out of the refrigerator, stir it lightly to restore an even consistency, and then, while continuously folding with a spatula, incorporate the coconut base into it. And we finish mixing until a uniform, very tasty mousse is achieved. And we proceed to assembly. We fill the mold with mousse so that it covers the strawberry. My molds are sitting on a scale, which helps me pour the same amount of mousse. The prepared bases are slightly frozen, therefore the mousse sets faster and the assembly turns out neater. We carefully press the frozen filling into the center and cover it with the remaining mousse. We place the pastries in the refrigerator to stabilize for approximately 5 hours. Let us return to the ganache. It has stabilized and is ready to use. Before using, it must be whipped to a stable yet soft consistency. Be careful and do not over-whip it, otherwise it can separate. Take note, the ganache has turned out stable and steady. It holds its shape, yet at the same time it is soft and delicate. We transfer it into a pastry bag fitted with a tip. I transfer each pastry onto an individual cake board. This is convenient and looks neat. I will remove the acetate strip so that you can see the process better, but I recommend keeping it on until serving. You can decorate right in the strip. It will not interfere and will actually help the pastries maintain a neat appearance for longer. If you do not use fresh strawberries and make only mousse with filling, then such pastries can be frozen. And when you remove the strip from the frozen pastries, you will obtain perfectly smooth sides. In the decoration, in addition to fresh strawberries, I used a small amount of coconut shavings to create a contrast with the strawberry ganache, and I lightly dusted the strawberries with non-melting powdered sugar, and the pastries are ready. It is important to note that due to the fresh strawberries, the pastries have a short shelf life. This is a one-day dessert, and it is better to serve them right after the mousse has stabilized, but it is the fresh strawberries that impart that very refreshing effect in combination with coconut. And out of season, the pastries can be prepared without fresh berries, frozen, and coated with velour or glaze. Friends, The pastries turn out very tasty, delicate, beautiful, and refreshing. That is all from me. I thank all of you for your attention. See you in new videos. Bye-bye.